This is the Missouri Southern State University Coaches Show with head football coach Atiba Bradley and sports director Ryan Bunnell.
Welcome in, everybody, to another installment of the Missouri Southern Coaches Show, or should I say, welcome back. There was no show last Sunday as the Lions had a bye week, but now we are back in studio with Missouri Southern head football coach Atiba Bradley, talking all things Lions after a close battle on Saturday against Northwest Missouri State that saw MSSU fall 21-14. Coach, first of all, as always, thanks for taking the time to be here. Before we really dig into the game, a couple weeks ago, I had mentioned a bit of a rough history against the Bearcats, but the 21-14 loss is tied for the closest margin against Northwest Missouri State since 1994. Can you just tell me, what do you think that says, and what do you think your team showed in terms of battling and continuing to fight?
Yeah, no, our guys really did fight. They battled. For someone to go back and find that record, that's a little bit of a blue ribbon, which we're not super fond of. But no, here's the deal. Everyone's asking, like, well, what did you learn from your team? What did you find out? I know these guys. I see them work day in and day out. And so there was no question in my mind that we were going to come out and fight. There was no question in my mind that we would never give up. And so I wasn't shocked. I was shocked. I thought we were going to win. But our guys battled. They competed. It wasn't until the final take a knee that we realized we ran out of time.
And this was a bit of a special home game as well, honoring the life of the former head coach, John Ware. I know you played under Coach Ware. Yeah. What could you tell me just about him as a person and a coach and what he means to this program?
Sure. I mean, he meant a lot to a lot of people. And for this program, he injected us with life. If you go back prior to his hiring, we had just finished a 1-9 or 2-9 season. Not competitive, not in any ball games, and so he comes in and immediately we're 5-6 and in a lot of close games, and so he injected a lot of life into not only the football program, but if you ask people that were going to school at the same time, they recognized him. He was a figure that people could approach, and so just meant a lot to campus in the short time that he was here.
Definitely, and just a little tidbit on that. Coach Ware began his tenure at Southern back in 2003. He acquired a 1-10 program, then immediately turned things around the next year, going 5-6 in 2004, winning National Coach of the Year honors from College Sports Report. So, Coach, going into this one, how do you think maybe knowing your squad was playing for something a little bit bigger than maybe helped that motivation factor?
Yeah, I think, what's kind of cool about this group is they have all the fuel and ammo and motivation that they need. I don't have to get up and get them motivated or get them fired up. You got guys that are playing hurt. You got guys that are playing in their senior season. You got guys that are playing truly on a mission. And so really the guy that was probably sky high with emotions was probably me, just in terms of, 20 years ago I was a senior and he passed during during our season. And so, our guys were ready to fight. They didn't need any other reason other than a ball being put down.
Definitely, and that fight was definitely evident. This one came down to the very end. Let's go ahead and hop into some film from Saturday's MIAA opener. As we mentioned previously, it was a 21-14 loss at home for Missouri Southern. This one moves the Lions to 2-1 overall and 0-1 in MIAA play, but they'll be back at it once again. Let's go ahead and get that video rolling, guys, for conference play next week with a matchup in Warrensburg against Central Missouri. Starting this one out, Missouri Southern's first 3 drives resulted in a pair of punts and a missed field goal. Coach, your squad gained 87 yards on those drives, no points. What were you telling your group in between quarters to kind of keep that mojo up?
Yeah, I mean, offensively, just keep chipping away at it. This is a top 3, top 4 defense in the MIAA, and stout in the middle, so it made it a challenge to run. But you're just telling those guys to keep chipping away at it, and one drive at a time, and then defensively, the exact same thing. Like, we had some good stops early, but we knew Northwest Missouri wasn't going to just stop. They weren't going to just bow down, so we just had to keep chipping away at it.
Yeah, the offense did get going later a bit in the second half, but the defense was kind of locked in from the get-go. The Bearcats opening 4 drives of the game, they managed a punt, another punt, a turnover on downs, and then a big interception in the end zone. You'll see that coming up in a moment. What was the game plan coming into this defensively, and how do you think your squad kind of executed that plan primarily in that strong first half?
Yeah, we just wanted to make them earn it. A lot of their points versus Washburn and even versus Texas A&M Kingsville, they had chunk plays. They had big kind of, not trick plays, but plays misdirection. And so off that misdirection, they're getting a lot of yardage. And so we just wanted to make them earn it. You know, if they were going to run the ball in a cloud of dust and get 4 yards of pop, then so be it. We just didn't want to give up that 20-yard run or that 25-yard pass that leads to easy scores.
Yeah, and the defense definitely did. They only had 2 plays the Bearcats did that were over 20 yards, so definitely contained those explosive plays, excuse me. You know, we talk about adjustments, you know, football, game of adjustments altogether. Looking at the offense, almost double the total yardage in the second half compared to the first. What was really the kind of switch at halftime that made things click in the second half?
Well, I think we settled in a little bit. You know, I think offensively, 1, we settled in. 2, we hit a long play towards the end. But it was really just, I think there were a little bit of jitters with the first MIAA opponent, such a big matchup. And then I think it was kind of weird. I felt like we got tighter and tighter as the game went on because it was so close. But then we came out at halftime like, you know what, we're just going to play football. And we finally started to relax, and then some things started to work.
Yeah, definitely. And there was a couple untimely, turnovers there in the fourth quarter. Tillman Martin, a freshman, this was his first ever MIAA game going up against a conference defense. What do you think he's going to kind of learn from this game, and how can he grow moving forward going into conference play? Yeah,
I can tell you, I guarantee there's probably 3 or 4 balls he wish he didn't throw, and there's probably 2 or 3 balls he wish he threw a little differently. And I think if those 5 throws probably leads to about 28 points, you know, and so, but he's still learning. Like, I think that's what's hard, is you saw the first 2, your sample size, the first 2 games, he did such a great job leading. He did such a great job with his completion percentage, his touchdown to interception ratio, that you almost forgot that he's a true freshman, that in, 10 months ago he was playing high school ball in the state championship. So he's going to grow, he's going to learn, he's going to make more mistakes. I mean, this is a seasoned league, and he's got to grow up, and we just need him to do it really quickly.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the final score from Saturday's matchup. As we've already kind of mentioned, 21-14 loss at home from Missouri Southern, moving to 2-1 overall, but they're back again in conference play next week with a matchup in Warrensburg against Central Missouri. So, Coach, all in all, obviously not the result you guys wanted. What are some positive takeaways that you guys can kind of learn and build from off of this performance?
Yeah, I think the positive is we can move the ball and we can stop anybody in the country. This is a really good football team. And at times we moved the ball on them with fairly good ease, you know, and then defensively we snuffed them out at times. And so what that shows us is that we can play with anybody in this league. And honestly, I think our guys have that belief, have that confidence, but it's a matter of going out and executing it and just continuing to chip away at it. Because it's a battle of 2 wills. Northwest believes the same thing. They believe they can play with anybody in the country, and so we believe that, they believe that, and so it truly is just a battle of will.
Definitely. I feel like you could almost sense that little bit of an aura of confidence on the sideline with your group this year. All right, we're going to go ahead and head to a quick break, but when we come back, I'll be joined by Trace Wilhite to focus on the offense's performance on Saturday. Stay tuned.